In this session, we're talking about how to architect team excellence. How do you build those truly exceptional teams where everyone feels accountable, they feel supported, that they belong, and just in sync? It all boils down to two things: a solid culture of commitment and learning the art of clear communication. So let me ask you this. How do you handle those tough but totally necessary conversations with your team without making it awkward or even worse, damaging the relationship? It's a huge challenge. The real problem on most teams isn't the big dramatic conflict that we can see. It's the quiet stuff. It's the unspoken assumptions that sit in people's heads. It's the missed deadlines where nobody says anything, or the expectations that everyone thinks are clear but have never actually been talked about. That confusion is the real silent killer of team performance. So, how do we fix that? Well, we need a blueprint, which we call the Code of Commitment. This is not just another document to get signed and filed away somewhere. It's foundational agreement that can literally change the way your team functions and succeeds. Think of the Code of Commitment as your team's constitution. It's a powerful document that the team creates together that defines who you are, what you stand for, and most importantly, how you're all going to interact with one another. It answers the really big questions like, what do we actually value around here? And what can we count on from each other? The impact is huge. A code like this builds alignment because you're all operating from the same playbook that everybody's agreed to and everybody has created. It normalizes being vulnerable, communicating openly, giving feedback in a way that builds, and it creates a culture of safety and belonging. All this creates this amazing foundation of mutual trust. So this is kind of what it looks like in practice. In a team with a strong code, it becomes normal, even expected, to admit when we make mistakes or to ask for help because it's part of the code. It's the way that we all commit to helping, supporting, and holding each other accountable within the team. And this quote says it all. This is the real game changer. When the team has this shared code, everyone can hold anyone else accountable to it. It's peer to peer. It's not about the manager policing everyone's behavior. It's about the entire team protecting the standards that everyone's already agreed to. That brings us to a really practical question. If everybody's suddenly responsible for accountability, how do you do it? How do you call out a teammate for not following the code without making them defensive or damaging that trust that you're trying to build? You need a tool. And that essential tool is the clear feedback model. This is a super simple, structured way to have those necessary conversations. It's a framework that keeps things constructive, respectful, and always focused on finding a solution. So here's the model at a glance. CLEAR. It's basically a roadmap for those tricky conversations. Each letter stands for a step that guides you from just starting the conversation all the way to finding a solution together. So C is for choosing privacy and permission. You start by finding a private moment and asking, hey, is now a good time to chat about whatever you want him to talk about? If that person's not ready to talk, set another time to do it. Otherwise, they're not going to be listening at all. So L is for level-headed tone. Stay calm and be aware of your tone. Is it open and friendly, or is it a bit harsh and aggressive? E is for explain your intent and the facts. So just the facts on what you've observed. Nothing emotional, no attacking on the person itself. A is for address the impact to the team or anyone else involved. And finally, R is the request for change and ideas to collaborate to bring up a solution. Let me use a simple example. Imagine a team member has been late with their part of a report, so missed the deadline set for them. How would you actually use the clear model giving feedback to this team member? Remember, the C and L part is setting the tone of the conversation and making sure the person's ready and willing to talk about the topic. So it's, hi, John, could you give me a moment to talk about the report and presentation we did yesterday? Would now be a good time for you? I really want to work well together, John, and be supportive, and for us to be supported with one another. Yesterday, you handed in the report late to the presentation team. Part of our code is to meet deadlines or ask for help if we know we're going to miss that mark. So when that report was late, the presentation was rushed, and it affected our team's reputation. Can you see I didn't actually accuse him? I didn't say you are bad or that you are the one who actually made us look bad. It's looking at What was the concrete consequences of that about the work and not a personal attack? So, what do you think we could do to change, to make sure that we hit the deadline next time? And you see, it's collaborative. It's how do we actually solve the problem together? Get their involvement. Don't just give them a suggestion, because then they're just going to say yes and maybe not be engaged and motivated to change. Okay, so let's put it all together. We have this foundational blueprint for your team's culture, which is the code, and we have a super practical tool for communication, which is your clear model. How do these two things work together to create this formula for excellence? The code is your why. It's the agreement that gives you the right and, frankly, the responsibility to speak up for your team standards. The clear model is the how. It's the practical step by step guide for doing it in a way that actually works. You really do need both to go from just having good intentions to building a true culture of team excellence. So, a strong team code stays alive when leaders lead by example and consistently model the behaviors they expect from others. Keep it active through regular check ins, recognizing and celebrating positive behavior. Celebrate those wins. Address issues promptly before they grow. And most importantly, create a culture of reflection and continuous improvement so the team keeps learning, growing, and strengthening together. I encourage you to create a code with your team, get them involved and committed to excellence, and then make your challenge for the week to commit to one behavior that will build a stronger foundation going forward. Thanks for joining me in this session. Go and check out our other videos on practical skills that you can use in your business.